Hello, my beautifuls. How are you? All right. After today, only Monday, and then it's Abattoir. How can I get a power level so I can be ready for Tuesday? That won't work, ST. Not only would you need a power level, you would also need to grind a full endgame character. The difficulty of this endgame starts beyond Nightmare Dungeon 100. I don't think you can make a character capable of doing it by Tuesday, even with a power level, unless you know a lot about Diablo. I'm reading reading Snail's thing here. Runzi, Lycalls, Chaz, Donsum. Thank you so much for all the subs, guys. Looks like you're having fun. Are you cold? Mm-hmm. What you up to? You got some big plans? That's good. She's so what? Mean?
Stared at me.
For what?
And then started eating.
Back away, bitch. So, okay. Just reading this real quick. Hmm. Hmm. Why wouldn't you take 1 point in tactical challenging shout? This seems worth it. There's going to be lots of monsters beating on your ass when they live for a full minute, right? Or am I wrong? Why not take 1 point there? I don't think there's any way I'm going to drop that. Not sure I would drop this either. I don't have a Shaco. I don't have a Shaco, guys. I wish. Yeah, I wear my Shaco IRL. That's why I wear this hoodie. True. Yeah, I think I would. We don't have Esus. Why do we need the movement speed for the Abattoir? I think I would drop this entire passive for the last point in Booming Voice, 1 point the War Cry, and the Tactical Rallying Cry. I don't think this is that. Callie, come here. Callie, come here. Callie, relax. Relax, okay? We relax today. Callie, stop. Callie, look at me. Stop that. Callie, for the love of fucking. Sorry about that, guys. All right. All right. Let me see something here. So is this really the best second defensive power we can get? Is this bubble? Bubble might be better than I'm expecting it to be. I was thinking we would take this. What about this? This is even better. This is I think this one's even better, isn't it? But this one wouldn't. Oh wait, we're fighting 3 Bloodseekers, so we would get on the boss. You would be missing. Let me compare this to another build. Yeah, but this one unfortunately has. This one just is just loaded with uber uniques. Mm. I mean, all right. Everything is different. Everyone's having different stuff. Okay, so let's go over. This is in. This is in. This is in. I don't have a melted heart. So every single one of Rob's build, I'm looking at Rob's builds, every single one of them requires a melted heart. Um, yeah, but right, Case, but you're thinking about it the wrong way. It's not because it's a good item, it's because nobody has it. Like 1% of people that watch the video will have that. So I'm going to make a different barb guide, I think. This chest piece is not that good. I have something better. That's not good either. This is the best chest piece that I have. Has like min life and a terrible armor roll. That's bad news. That's real bad news. Hmm. Hmm. Not really exactly sure on this. I like the way this is set up better. I don't need the let me see something. He takes 3 and 3. Oh, he doesn't take the life steal at the end. Or whatever. This. Isn't this a lot of damage? This might be good though. but I don't know what I would drop for it. I guess this damage, my nose here, this damage only applies if you're hitting at max fury, which may be hard to do. Maybe we take the DR instead. Did he max thick skin? No. So it's a question of, do I want to take these points out for this? Maybe. Maybe I take 2 of them out and go like this. Okay. So I'm happy with the spec there. Now the question is, how do I get to... Apparently the number is mid 13,000 armor is the real number. How do I get there? I'm going to have to drop either Banished Lords, or you just take an... If I just drink an Iron Skin Elixir, would that be enough? Let me see. Iron Skin, but I don't really want to drop the generator. I'm not sure that I want to drop the generator. So I don't even have pants on. Start with that. I want to see if I can keep... I don't think we need to drop Tibalts. Maybe. Could be wrong, though. But can you keep Tibalts on if... So this is already high enough. I don't think you need to drop Tibalts. But you're losing a lot of DR is the problem. I don't think you need it. How many disobedience stacks can you get? Okay, maybe we do need it. This isn't even close. But I can't get my stacks up. Hmm. Yeah, I'd have to test it on AoE. Hmm. Hard to know exactly what to do here. Is this really the best chess piece that I have? I'm gonna just wear the chess piece from my sorcerer, I think. Let me see what the let's go to the vampire zone and see what the value becomes. I don't have a Shaco. Magic Man, Ghost Talker, thank you so much for the subs, guys. Let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. Don't want anyone by me. Trying to get to... Might already be there, actually. This might work as is. I'm gonna look, though. Dude. No! This is Dude, I'm way too strong. I can't even attack if I take that off. I love it how trying to test something and this guy comes and kills all the monsters. God, kill me now. I'm trying to test something. God, kill me now. The target dummy has multiple options, but how many does it have, though? I don't think it's going to work unless I put Berserk Ripping on my gloves. Can I have 6? Okay. Still don't think that's going to be enough, but let's try it anyway. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be enough, though, is the problem. You can try it. Craft a low nightmare dungeon key. Yeah, the problem is just gonna one-shot everything. I'm just way too powerful. I have to find a way to nerf myself. All right. All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do this a little bit differently. Let's go try the multiple target dummy and see if this works. Could use a blue item, yeah. All right, let's try something here. 4 Umbral, by the way, kick W. Damn, I don't even have the power. Shit. I don't even have it. Not like I couldn't get it, though. Hellhammer got buffed, so I think Hellhammer is used now. Yeah, I'm sure that you don't have to drop Tibalt's. You don't have to drop it. You don't need to drop it. If you have an iron barb elixir, you don't need to drop it. Yeah, if I roll this armor higher with an iron elixir, I don't need to drop Tibalt's. So we can play like this. So that's very good news. Be back in 1 second. We're going to theorycraft this.
All right, so I think I can reach the armor cap without swapping to bolts. Almost certain. This setup is a lot more offensive than snails. I don't think they can kill me, though. I really like the idea, though, of putting Berserk Ripping on, like, the... Where do you put it? On the boots? I think that's actually a good idea that I wouldn't have thought of. Because... Or where did he put it? Where did he put this? Put it on the gloves. It's an offensive power. So this needs to go on the boots, and Berserk Ripping needs to go on the gloves. Okay. Um... Okay, so... Alright, this is 6 seconds off of each shout. It's 6 seconds off. And it would work on the 3 Bloodseekers. You'd essentially get max value. Oh, I'll fix the cold res. Not a big deal. Just swap one armor thing for the cold res. In fact, honestly, All right, so I think I've got this pretty well figured out. So this is giving me 200 armor right there. Need to see if I can find a better chest piece. Okay, and I need to farm a berserk ripping power. Let me check. Will my chest piece work for my barb? Oh, is the poison shred not ready? That's the next thing I was gonna look at. That one's not particularly amazing either. I could definitely do some Duriel runs to try to find a better chest piece, that's for damn sure. Alright, let's see if poison shred is ready. Alright, let's respec my druid completely. I'm respecking my druid 100%. Okay, and I can already tell that there's a bunch of stuff that I don't already have that I need. So I might... Actually, it would be a mistake for me to respec because I don't think that I can... I don't think I can build this. I don't think I have this. This build will struggle without a well-leveled Tears of Blood. Why? So is the thing that does all of the damage, is Poison Creeper doing all of our damage? Or is it Shred? I guess it's Shred because Shred is applying all the damage through Blurred Beast. Shred takes the poisoning damage and then chops them. So we don't need ranks to shred. We need ranks to poison creeper to increase the poison, and blurred beast just multiplies it by 1.5. Right. But for example, we don't need ranks to shred was my question, right? We don't need ranks to shred. We need ranks to poison creeper. Would Andariels be better than this generator? All right, later, Charles. How was I able to have enough stash space to manage 5 classes? Well, you learned that your stash space must be god tier, or your stash management. Yeah, it's pretty much learning to only keep the best of the best stuff. Is there an uber unique version coming out? Because I have Andariels. So should I play Pulverize? Should I play Pulverize until my Tears of Blood is 50? Like, why? Oh, I see. I understand. The reason why you want to wait to level this up is because, first of all, this is what it's double dipping with. And second of all, when you get it to level 50, that's when it's insanely powerful. So you don't want to wait. We want to switch this build only after you're double dipping with the increased radius. Is that the idea? That would make sense to me. Landslide will hit them many times and proc Poison Creeper. How does Landslide proc Poison Creeper? Landslide procs Terramotes, which have a decent lucky hit chance, and on lucky hit pack leader, you reset your companion skills. Pack leader. Is that a talent? Is that a Paragon thing? Pack leader. It's a spirit boon. Thank you. I see. Okay, that's very interesting tech here. We don't have a generator outside of trample. Why is what? But what is this? Stormstrike is on the bar, isn't it? So the entire idea here is just to take a lot of companions because there's a power that gives you here. And for this gain one additional companion, is this for all of them? Does this mean when you summon a poison creeper, it summons 2 of them? It should be debilitating roar instead. It's the passive part. It's the passive part of what? All right, let's go to paint here. Oh, it's the passive part of the companions. Oh, and so, oh, I see. Right. So does this mean we get 3 poison creepers now? We get 5 ravens and we get 4 wolves, or did it already add it in? Did this power already add it in somehow? It just gives you 1 extra of each, right? 1 raven, 1 creeper, and 1 wolf. They already added it. Okay. So we have 9. 9 for 135x. So I assume when Blurred Beast damage is calculated, this 150% extra poison damage must be counted as shreds damage now. Otherwise, this power would do nothing, right? This is now counted as shreds damage, because otherwise this core thing wouldn't do anything, because Poison Creeper is not core. And that would also mean... Yeah. Here's McFluffin right here. McFluffin, how are you? I'm consuming your build right now. You just updated this. One question, McFluffin. Here you have Storm Strike, but here you say there's no generator. Did you change that? People are saying this is supposed to be Debilitating Roar. Okay. I have another question. Yeah. Another question, McFluffin. If you have an Andariel's, do you just straight up switch it for this, or are there any other changes required? I have Andariel's. What do you do with Andariel's? You just throw it on instead of your hat? Or are you making another variant of it, or? We're doing Necro next. Necro will go next. Okay, so let's see if we can explain the build. Isaac, thanks for becoming a member on YouTube, buddy. Bache, nice to see you, buddy. Let's see if we can explain this in plain terms. Okay. So let's start at the top with the whole build that works, and people can tell me if I have it wrong. So Blurred Beast takes poison damage times 150%. And it counts as a core skill. So, because Shred is the thing applying it. So, if you have Andariel's and you have Poison Creeper, then you just apply these poisons, which get the glyph, the new glyph. Then you use Blurred Beast to make it 150% extra damage, then use the glyph again, and then convert it to a core skill so you can use things like Shepherds to do big damage. Is what I just said correct? Because that's how I understand it. Okay, so we have all of that right. So that's like the basis of the build. We understand what defense does. We understand might and disobedience. Okay, so now we go to the next thing. So the next thing to understand is, because of this interaction, the only thing that matters is increasing your poison damage. This is why you take plus ranks to Poison Creeper, but you don't take plus ranks to Shred. because shred is just taking the poison amount and using this power to send it through this little mathematical equation. Yeah, so plus to shred does nothing. That's okay, so we're good. We're doing the thing. Okay, next. So by this logic, the whole idea is to apply as much poison as possible. And Andariels will probably be up just a ton at the time, not only from the landslides, but doesn't Metamorphosis also do damage? Let me see. Does Metamorphosis do damage? No. Or does it? The Maxroll says no, but it's probably... Is that not right? Let me see something. Yeah, it does do damage. It does do damage. Okay, so Andariels... So Andariels is going to be up like all the time. From Metamorphosis and also from the landslides, right? That's one way to apply poison. This is from Andes. And then the other poison creeper, this, because of a boon here, because of, where is it? This thing, pack leader. Whenever we lucky hit and crit, we have a chance to reset the cooldown of companion skills. And apparently one of the best ways to do this is with landslides, with the Terramotes going everywhere. And so you cast Poison Creeper and Trample, and they're going to throw landslides everywhere that are hitting and lucky hitting and hopefully critting to proc Pack Leader to throw more Poison Creepers to detonate with Shred. I have Andariels, yes. I have it. Is that right? So then to proc Poison Creeper, we trample and Poison Creeper itself throws landslides to proc Pack Leader to refresh Poison Creeper. Yeah, I mean, that's not confusing at all. Okay. At least I think I understand this. This is making perfect sense to me, I think. So let's look at the build here. See if this makes sense. Storm Strike, we don't even have it on our bars, so you just have to put 2 points in, right? So Landslide is with the Terramotes to lucky hit and crit to proc Poison Creeper. Because you need to crit and lucky hit to proc Pack Leader, right? Shred, we are only here to detonate Blurred Beast. That's the only reason that we're doing Shred. I assume, can any of the attacks in here detonate? Yeah, these kind of interactions seem to only ever be possible on Druid. They don't ever seem to be. They don't ever seem to be. Um, possible on other classes because the interactions are just crazy on this build. Does any hit of the shred trigger Blurred Beast? So like if I shred and then my Poison Creeper comes back up, then I cast Poison Creeper and then I shred again in the middle of a shred, I'm guessing that it counts. It has to be a dash while dashing. Okay. So the first shred attack doesn't work. Do you perform the dash if you're standing in melee range of the monster? Do you perform the dash meleeing a boss? Okay. All right. So you must walk away. Okay. Okay. I'm going to have to make a video guide on this. Of course, there will be no questions. I will credit McFluffin and Boiler and Moxie for all of their theory crafting here. So you don't ever have to worry about that. But let me actually make some notes here. I understand, but I don't want to miss a single message in the video. Otherwise, I am going to be ridiculed. Poison Shred. Okay, so let's understand some basics here. Let me use my beautiful painting here. So, Blurred Beast. So Blurred Beast takes poison, any poison damage times 150% and converts it to core damage. Sources of poison are Andariel's and Poison Creeper. This is overpowered because the poison damage gets the glyph, and then the calculation of Blurred Beast counts the glyph again. Yeah, Moxie just joined. And it only works on the dashes, which means you must walk away from your target. So then poison damage. Since poison damage is what's multiplied, we need to buff our poison damage with plus ranks to Poison Creeper and not plus ranks to Shred, which does nothing. Okay, understand? casting poison damage. We need Andariels and Poison Creeper going at all times. Andariels is procced via Metamorphosis and Landslides. Poison Creeper is procced via Landslides, which so Trample plus Poison Creeper trigger Landslides, which reset Poison Creeper via Pack Leader. God. All right. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, so Spirit Generation. You have Trample, and then you have isn't there's a vampire power that does something, I thought. Let's see. Feed the Coven. Feed the Coven. Okay. Does anybody know? Probably not, because it won't get any kills. How does the Pack Leader read? Does any Hemo can crit, right? Does Hemo have a lucky hit chance? Can Hemo lucky hit and crit? Because if it could, that might be a very, very nice thing to maybe drop for Undying. Because if it can lucky hit and crit every 4 seconds, you might just reset your Poison Creeper just by doing anything. That's a good question. That's a good idea, yeah. So let's put on Andariels. Let's swing at the air on the training dummy and see if it procs the poison. Do I think Diablo 4 is dying? DM said that it's dying. So let me answer that question with like a story, a very short story. I started streaming Diablo 3 when everyone said Diablo 3 was in the graveyard. There were no top streamers playing it. There was no hope for the future of the game. Everybody said it's impossible to stream Diablo 3 as a career. You know, every bad thing about Diablo 3 possible. And then okay, so first of all, I need to have Hemo on. Do I have Hemo on? No. What am I missing? I need 2 skulls. Let me go get those. everyone kept telling me for years and years and years, you can't stream it because it's a dead game. Oh, there's a stash in the training dummy area? Oh, nice. I didn't know that. Anyway, and after streaming Diablo 3 for 4 years, I mean, I had 110,000 followers. So no, I don't think Diablo 4 is dead. Every single, all the numbers always drop in ARPGs for every ARPG ever invented in the history of the universe. When you're pretty far into a season, people lose interest, but they'll be back. They might be back on Tuesday for the Abattoir. Let's see if we can proc this. Okay, so that was Hemo. First of all, let's see if we can get a crit with Hemo, and let's see if we can trigger Andariels. I'm not seeing an Andariels proc, are you guys? Let's see if we can get a crit. We would need... Try the 5 dummy thing. That's a smart idea. Look for a crit, guys. Look for a poison nova. So, yeah, it was just an idea for McFluffin, because if this would work and if it would be reliable, then this could actually really help you. But what I'm concluding here is this is absolutely worthless. I don't see any crits, and I can't test if it lucky hits or not. Well, actually, yes, we can, because Andariels is only lucky hit, right? Andariels is only lucky hit, right? So the fact that I haven't thrown a poison nova means it can't do either. It can't do either of these things. So, yeah, that absolutely does not work at all. Stormclaw has a high lucky hit chance. Does that mean, do you still use Blurred Beast? Do you rotate between a generator and Blurred Beast then? I didn't see a crit, and I also didn't see a I didn't see a crit, and I didn't see a lucky hit proc. Okay. So let's go back to the build and see if we have completely understood what's happening here. I get it. Life, DR, crit chance. We need crit chance, obviously, to proc pack leader. There's some nice sustain there. Does anybody know this? When you dash at an enemy, does it count as a close hit? Because you don't do the damage until you actually get up to them and hit them, right? So this should count for the Blurred Beast hit for Shred, right? Increases your non-physical resistances. Aren't all resistances not physical now? What is a non-physical resistance? I don't understand. Is that how it reads? Because I think that they need to change the verbiage on that skill now, right? Is that still how it reads? Where is it? Here. Yeah. Let me run this by Blizzard here. Not a huge deal, but with how you changed the game, I find the wording on this to be a bit misleading. This says increases your non-physical resistances, but there are no physical resistances anymore. So I think it should say increases your resistances. What does the diamond say? Or you can use the verbiage that you already have on diamonds to be consistent, which is plus 5.0% resistance to all elements. Armor is not a resistance. Your resistances are a proper name in this game, and your resistances are these. These are your resistances because they changed it. Resistances used to also block physical, but now they don't. But do they actually add? Well, I don't know. One way to find out. Let's check it out here. Minus 0.9. Yes, they do. So I think it's just wrong now. I think they changed the formula this season, and it's fine, but they didn't change the verbiage. But it's not. They don't use the term resist though. It says reduces damage taken. Resistances are a proper name, and resistances are these. Armor is not resistance, and armor does not say resists physical, it says reduces. Is it the same for Cyclone? Let me see. Non-physical damage reduction. Hmm. Is that, what is that? Is that a separate stat? If I had a Shaco, would I use it for Barb? The thing about Shaco for most builds is you use Shaco if you can't survive. If you can't survive, you throw on your Shaco. Shaco is mostly a defensive item. You thought that I was going to play Last Epoch? You thought correct, but the Last Epoch release date was delayed until the end of February. Four to all skills is not negligible, but the armor, the helmet slot is usually very heavily contested. The thing about Shaco is it's got massive DR, it's got a lot of life on it, and the four to all skills, it is good when those four skills funnel into your main damaging thing. But if you look at most builds, for example, let's look at the Poison Shred build. If you look at most builds, look what they do. They take 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. This one gets 1,000,000 points, 1 point. Every single trample, 1 point. All of these just have 1 point in them. Shaco would bring them all to 5. So it's more of like a quality of life across a lot of your skills that get pumped massively, where otherwise you would never invest the resources to do so. Yeah, but I think so in Nightmare Dungeon, so we don't know how much we're going to need, because so here's what we thought was going to happen. In Nightmare Dungeon 100, the monsters are level 154. So with Abattoir of Zir coming out, we thought it would be this plus 25. The monsters would finish at 179. However, in the demo, in Abattoir of Zir level 10, the monsters were 157. So that means whatever this number finishes at let's say it's, I don't know. I don't know. 165? I don't know. It's not going to be 179. That means the previous cap of 14,800 and whatever it was, 96, whatever the number was, is now going down. So maybe now you can get away with just 14,000 armor. And that makes a huge difference. Does anybody know what was the monster level at level 1? What was it? The armor requirement is a little bit lower than anticipated. It was 155. So it potentially means that for every 5 levels you gain 1 monster level. So it would be, they would finish at what, 160 is the final level? Is the thought? Is that the estimated final monster level, which is much better than 179? I think you might want to start with pulverize and just slowly but surely level your glyphs. You're going pulverize all the way. That's going to be very brave of you. Very brave. But that could work. I guess I'm going to start as pulverize. Yeah, the mob HP is a lot higher, which is exactly the reason why. That's exactly the reason why you you want to focus a little bit more on damage than we thought from before. Okay, let's go to. No, you're gaining one monster level for every 5 you increase, starting at 55, 155. So 25 divided by 5 is 5, and 155 plus 5 is 160, unless I'm crazy. Should be 160, right? So it should be about mid 13,000 armor, something like that. Okay, let's look at Necro here for a second. Okay, so I guess this makes sense because it does give you increased armor. Is there a multiplier in the Paragon board that gives you more damage to vulnerable somewhere? Why do we go for vulnerable then? I understand that vulnerable is up pretty much all the time, but I wonder why we would go for vulnerable. Does it have a higher value? Why would we go for vulnerable here? What are my other choices? Distant gets way. Is it a passive? I don't know. There's got to be a reason. He's stacking vulnerable everywhere. Where's the... It's the aspect of corruption. It's from one of the sacrifices. I still don't understand how that matters, though. Because this doesn't go into anything with the multiplicative part of vulnerable, right? This goes into the additive bucket if vulnerable is applied. I don't understand. There might be something that I'm missing here. But yeah. Why vulnerable? I guess one advantage of vulnerable is it pretty much always applies. So if you took, for example, damage to distant, if they ran up to you, it wouldn't work. Why vulnerable? I would like to look at the... So Echo doesn't have new build. He always goes with the same build. It's always this. Read the class mechanic. You mean the Book of the Dead sacrificing this? Is this what you're talking about? Are you talking to me about this? Or are you talking to somebody else? You're parroting. So here's what I'm saying, guys. You tell me if I'm wrong. This is what I'm saying. Let me explain. And you tell me where I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong. You apply vulnerable, okay? So Bolt and Spear applies vulnerable, let's just say 100% of the time. I know that they do. From the Corpse Tendrils, from Bone Spear itself. It's up all the time, right? Okay. And I understand that you're getting 15% multiplicative damage to vulnerable from the sacrificing mages. That's fine. However, what we're doing here on the ring and on the weapon, we are taking plus 20% to vulnerable. and whatever, plus 20% to vulnerable. My question is, why? This plus 20% does not add into any kind of multiplicative thing with vulnerable. It goes into the giant additive damage bucket now, right? With the changes to the game. It goes into this giant additive damage bucket. So my question is, instead of this, why don't I take plus 34% damage to distant? So my question was, is there some kind of benefit to vulnerable that I'm missing? This is my question. Why wouldn't I take 34% to distant? I understand vulnerable is up 100% of the time, so you get the value no matter what. That's my question. No, you're right. Okay, thank you. I'm 100% correct. Thank you. That's what I'm asking. So my point is there some kind of passive or paragon legendary power that boosts vulnerable by some multiplicative value where vulnerable would be the way to go? This doesn't do anything with vulnerable. This doesn't do anything with vulnerable. So I'm wondering if damage to distant is just better. 20% vulnerable damage stacked with the sacrifice. What do you mean stacked with the sacrifice? I don't think they stack in any way, or am I wrong? That's what I'm saying. Blizzard changed the mathematical formula, right? They don't stack in any way. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm getting so confused here. I got so many tabs open. Let me start closing stuff. Here. How do they stack? So this just says you do 15% increased damage to vulnerable enemies. So I just do 15% increased damage to vulnerable enemies. When you start adding vulnerable, it has nothing to do with this. Nothing. It goes into the giant additive damage bucket. Vulnerable now is here and crit hit damage is here. It didn't used to be. They changed the mathematical formula. Or am I wrong? Macro has lucky hit and int instead. See, I think that would be way better. Int is multiplicative damage. If you look at your additive damage in game, you change your sacrifices, you'll see it increases the additive amount. Vulnerable went to the bucket of sadness, yes. So, wait, are you saying that the actual sacrifice isn't even multiplicative? Wait. So let's take this off. Okay. My vulnerable damage is 131. So it's 20%. It's 20% multiplicative from just vulnerable being vulnerable, and then 77 from stats and Paragon. So now when I go back into the Book of the Dead and I add 15% multiplicative, what? What just happened? What? 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 What just happened? God damn it, Blizzard. What? Okay, hold on. What? This is way higher than it should be. What? And the individual numbers didn't change at all. What? What? %48 increased damage. What? Okay, can I somehow recreate this number? How would I recreate this? So, is it 15%? What's 15% of... I'm trying to understand, how would I even get this? Oh. Oh, I have a, okay. Okay. I still don't know about this, though. That still seems very high. Let's try it again. Thank you. Okay. So let's take out that. Try it again. uh, let's see. I don't understand. It was 113. Still not going to get the right number. 113.1. Even if you took all of it. How would this work? If I took... No, that would be even less. I don't get this. I don't understand this. I'm a math guy. What is happening here? So the gear's not doing anything. So it's saying that I'm getting the 77 additive damage to vulnerable from Paragon. I don't get it. Am I not searching for clear all? How's this thing work? Does this thing work? Okay, so it's this exploit glyph. Take it out. Okay. Now, $77 times 1.2 plus 15 times 1.2. $92. 18. It's close. What was the actual value? 77.9. Why is the 15% being multiplied by 1.2? Shouldn't it be 77.9 times 1.35? Well, that further doesn't line up. That would make it even worse. Oops, I accidentally did it twice. 1.35. I'm very confused, man. So if I go here and I add the sacrifice bonus with no additive vulnerable, what happens? Oops. 38. So you're right. The 1.2 is being, it's like a completely separate multiplier to vulnerable damage. Is that what's happening? So, okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Maybe we can actually replicate this. Wait a minute. Where's the exploit glyph? 7.9. If I put it in, it's giving me 77.6. 77.6. So if I go, what if I make it a completely separate multiplier and it also multiplies the multiplier. So if I go 77.6 times 1.2 times 1.15, doesn't work either. because the value is 108. So if I try the other way, 77.6 times 1.2, 93, 9312, 15, or excuse me, 1.2 times 1.15 plus 9312. Oh, it should have been 15. 15 times. $15 times 1.2 plus 9312. Still don't get this, but I get very close. It's all your additive times 1.2 in sheet, right? But then we have this sacrifice that increases the multiplier by 15. The closest value that I can get is multiplying the 1.2 separately by the multiplicative value of sacrificing the mages and then adding it to the taking the additive stuff times the vulnerable multiplier plus 18. So all my additive times 1.2 in sheet is 93. 97.9 times 1.2. Then we get 15% from sacrificing. I wonder what happens if I take 77.9 times, what if I take 77.9 times 1.15? That wouldn't work either. It doesn't, the math doesn't seem to add work anyway that I do at Boiler. If I go 1.35, it'd be 77.6 times 1.35. That's 104. That's not 110. Yeah, so with the book, you go from 20%, with no additive, with the book, you go from 27 to 38. So if I remove exploit, let's get rid of it. Or 20 to 38, I mean. If I remove this, I have 38. How? I don't have that. I don't have that passive. I thought I just took that passive out. Took that out. Base is 20 plus 15% is 38. How in the world is 20 plus 15 38? It's not giving, it's giving the vulnerable multiplier, and then it's taking 15 times 1.2 and then adding that. Yeah, it's exactly. It's so then what's 77.6 times 1.38? That's still not 110. I am. Let me think about one. What if I took 77.6 plus 18 times 1.2? Close. I am. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and keep calculating all day. I am not able to replicate this number in any way. I am not able to replicate the 110 point whatever. I do not understand how they're getting that with anything. I don't understand how I can get that number. Oh, is there another sacrifice that's vulnerable? It's just crit. How do you go back? Close, I guess. Yeah, I can't think of any way to get 110.8. I don't have any anyway, the point I was trying to make is if the math works how I think it does, which I can't, not only do I not understand Critch, thank you so much for the membership, man. Not only can I not understand what Blizzard is doing, but I can't even come up with the answer, so I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, global, we keep globcol, we keep getting real close. I can get real close to the number, trying 5 different mathematical formulas, but I cannot get their number, which means I cannot understand what they're doing. Anyway, I don't know. I don't understand. Well, yeah, in conclusion, vulnerable damage is better than I thought it was if this number is to be trusted. Do I have any thing with vulnerable on it? Where's my stash? Yeah, I'm guessing that this is calculating incorrectly, but what do I know? Vulnerable damage, here we go. And let's see what this does. What's supposed to be a 13% additive thing gives me almost 20. I wonder though, that might actually be right though. That might actually be right. Let me see. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So that's exactly what I thought it would do.
No, it's not what I thought it would do. $163 is 13% higher than 145, but I was adding 13% additive. That shouldn't just make it 13% better, but it's making it better than 13%. What is it? 13.5. 13.5. It's adding it correctly, but then the entire multiplier actually went up 13%. And the whole idea of moving vulnerable to a separate multiplier is to give less. This, I don't understand. What happens if I do this? And then 185.7, 187.5 divided by 1. When I put this on, I'm getting almost the full value of the not quite, but I'm almost getting the full value of the vulnerable damage in this calculation. Well, I mean, I could sit here. I would sit here all day and look at it, but I'm very confused. I'm super confused. I'd like to sit down with Blizzard and show me how they have it calculated and look through it. Only the exploit glyph is 77.6. Everybody in chat is feverishly typing numbers into their calculator, everyone equally confused. All right, anyway. Well, that was fun. I don't get it. Godslayer is good, Anthony. Yeah, it is. All right. So there's not really many ways to build a Bone Spear Necro. It's very, very straightforward. The only question is do you take the curse? Because you can take the curse and amplify damage, which he has not done. Oh, I like these.
We take Veer's Mastery just so we can use the super nice Veer's Mastery power, but yeah, I think Veer's Mastery has bugs in it. Best way to farm Sigil power, clear a Nightmare Dungeon 100 on your character, and then you can go farm Whispers all day long. And then every time you turn in a Whisper, it'll give you a Nightmare Dungeon 100 or 99 key that you can salvage. That's what I've been doing. That way you can still farm Burial Mats and still be salvaging Nightmare Dungeon 100 keys that you're generating. It looks like this is pretty straightforward. The Corpse Tendrils and Corpse Explosions are automatically cast. Blood Mist is to stay alive. Bone Splinters is if you run out of Necro Juice. And this lidless wall with this power, with the barrier power, is just going to be insane. I think you got to play with this. I think you got to play with this ring. This ring's way too good. So Bone Spear is very, very straightforward. I'm going to need to put on a pair of pants with the protecty thing on it. I have a terrible ring, but I guess this is as good as I'm going to get. Only has 600 max life. That's terrible. This armor roll is also terrible. This damage reduction roll is terrible. I need a little bit of work on these guys, so that's for damn sure. Not the greatest. There either. Guess this is what happens when you make 5 characters. Okay. Now let's take a look at Rogue real quick. Bone Spear is very straightforward. There's nothing to it, really. There's really not many ways you can build it. Let's look at the tier list here. Penetrating shot. Let's see how they rank it at the top. Does it have the new thingy in it? Yeah, this is my problem. It's hard to play. It's not very good at bossing, and it's kind of squishy. I do not like this build very much, if I'm being honest. Okay, so let's look at this. So he would take a shackle if he has it. Then he throws disobedience on the necklace. I like that. So you start out with the below 50 and you switch to the 50 plus. He's going to apply the Vampire Curse with Metamorphosis. Now, with this build, so the close quarters is what it makes the entire build work. And then you stack damage to crowd controlled everywhere you possibly can. I do have a Doombringer. Damage to crowd controlled, damage to crowd controlled. You use rapid fire on the bosses. I want to see Dioxide's right up of the combo points. Maybe it's in mechanics. So this is what? Not sure why this is in here. What about the... I'd like to see, did Dioxide write about the Tybalt's Will bug in here? I'd like to see what he wrote about it, if he wrote anything anywhere. Guess I can control F for Tybalt's. Here. "23 combo points." Okay, so this is exactly what I thought about it. I don't think we've ever found Anton. We're perpetually looking for him. Where is Anton? Will the drops be better in Abattoir of Zir? That's a good question. I would assume that Abattoir of Zir would drop 925 gear, I hope. They said it doesn't drop any gear.
thought they said that there's no gear while they go through, but when you kill the guys in the end, they don't drop anything. They said that it doesn't drop gear as you walk through it, but they don't drop gear when you kill the blood seekers. Let's see. Let me see. I know it doesn't drop gear during the run. It drops gear. It's not guaranteed to be 925 though. But it looks like it dropped you unique straight away. But maybe it drops 925 gear. At least drop 908. That's pretty high. That's good for everything except weapons and offhands. If it's that high, then it's okay for armor and jewelry. Yeah, you get 1000 XP for the glyph, which is massive. Do you get a new Tears of Blood key? So yes, it drops you gear. It does drop gear, it just drops it at the end. Okay, so this rogue build is very, very, very complicated. I don't think I was going to make a video guide on what I'm going to play with Pen Shot Rogue, but I just don't think people should play it. I don't think people are going to be able to play it correctly. I think they should just go Twisting Blades. You do a merry-go-round, you put on the max damage, and that's it. So you get Dash and Shadow Step. Does Twisting Blades use, yeah, it uses Condemnation. Okay. All right. It's just way easier to play. I don't think people are going to be able to play penetrating shot properly. It's way too much to manage, way too much to position, way too much of a rotation. I think I'm just going to have to recommend Twisting Blades. I can't with a straight face tell anybody to play pen shot. They won't be able to do it. It's just that simple. You're not going to be able to do it correctly at all. I don't think you trying pen shot, the conclusion should be you are necessarily terrible at Rogue. I don't think that that's the conclusion. Pen shot is just not easy to play. No, it's not because you're bad. It's because it's a pretty convoluted setup. It's pretty convoluted. Rapid fire may be better, yeah. I don't think I can recommend pen shot to anybody. You have to, it takes a skilled player, but it's even a step further than that, I would say. It's not even a function of you need to be skilled. It's you have to enjoy working really hard all the time when you're playing an ARPG. You got to get this position right. You got to rotate your imbuements correctly. You got to cycle in your generator in order to get the combo points and the condemnation to fire the thing. You have to understand if you're fighting a pack, you're going to fire your pen shot. If you're fighting a single target, you're going to fire your rapid fire. You have to keep up your close quarters combat passive all the time. Here's Dioxide right here. Dioxide wrote the guide. It's a lot of work due to close quarters combat. Exactly. So even Dioxide wrote the guide, and he agrees. The thing that I've learned about making guides, I've been making Diablo guides. It's going to be 5 years in March. For 5 straight years, I have been vomiting build guides. People, even if you make a godly guide, if you make a godly guide and you explain it perfectly and you demonstrate it and you break it down as easily as you can, if it's very hard to play, people will just be sad. People who usually consume the guides don't have a lot of time to play. They might not be the best players in the world. Not always. Sometimes the gods watch the guides just to get more info. But 99% of you have a 0% chance of playing this build correctly. You have to play it correctly for 10 straight minutes. 99% of Diablo IV players, honestly, probably me included, I would have to practice, cannot play this build correctly for 10 straight minutes. You just can't. Twisting Blades, you run around and you just do your merry-go-round, and if you're in trouble, you dash away. So if you're playing this build in the Abattoir and you're doing very well with it, you're just a great player. You're a great player and you've put a lot of effort into playing this build. But this, compared to Ball Lightning, compared to Hoda, compared to even Shred. Shred is only complicated in how the build works, but the gameplay is not hard. Throw your Poison Creeper, and then the only thing you need to do is you need to understand that the Shred dash is what's going to proc Blurred Beast. So you're fighting, you Poison Creep, you swing once. The first Shred doesn't dash. You swing, then you walk away, and then you dash in. And then you walk away and you dash in. So it's poison, hit, dash, dash. Poison, hit, dash, dash. Yeah, so if you want to do, that's what people are saying. They're saying if you, and that's what Dioxide is saying. If you want to play a bow build in the end game, you probably go rapid fire. This is probably very easy to play. And I'm also just gonna be honest and be like, listen, guys, straight up, if you guys want to know like the super ultima 5-head info on the on bow rogues, you should talk to Dioxide or Woody for anything. You should guys talk to them about rogues, but let's see here. So you have two setups. One of them is close quarters combat. So it's all about this passive. What's better between Pulverize and Stormclaw for the Abattoir until you get the new... Well, the Druids at Maxroll posted the Poison Shred version. However, all of them, I know this because they literally just messaged me. They're all talking to each other. And they actually think that there might be an easier way to do this than Poison Shred. And the idea would be to use Stormclaw, because apparently Stormclaw has a very high lucky hit chance. 50% lucky hit chance, and it's a generator, so you can just go at the speed of light, right? The lucky hit with a crit procs Pack Leader. Pack Leader resets Poison Creeper. Poison Creeper activates the poison to activate Blurred Beast. Bam. But I also think it works with Toxic Claws. What is Toxic Claws? Toxic Claws, what does that do? Let's go to my favorite website, Fextra Life. Critical strikes with werewolf skills deal 8% of their base damage as poison damage. So that's another way to apply the poison. But then you still have to take Shred, right, to detonate it. Wait, does Fextra Life have
In
a
this Diablo
YouTube?
4 video, I'm going to be showing.
Huh. Okay, so Fextra Life continued its YouTube. Its YouTube is still pumping, but its stream has come to an end. World Boss. How long on the World Boss? 1 minute. Okay, let's see. No licking, Callie. No. You always want to lick me. I'm not a lollipop. You got a Shaco? Congrats, man. Perfectly calculated. Okay, it's me an 85 and an 86. All right, so I pretty much have to do everything here. That can be arranged. Bro, I don't even have my powers on. I don't even have any of the right shit on. Oops. I don't have any of my stuff on. Wah. 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 Yeah, you do have to complete the season journey to do the Abattoir. Remember that, guys. Hi, Callie. Yeah, I see you. I see you. I know, you're a dog. I see you. Hi. It's nice to see you, Callie. You're a nice little dog. It's true. All right. Okay. Well, let's farm here for a bit, I guess, now that we've really looked through all the abattoir stuff. I will make some guides for you guys tonight. I already made ball lightning. I'll make Hoda and then try to explain everything. So let's pick this back up. Let's get rid of everything here. Go with this. Can take raiment for now. Don't need this. Let's go with that one. I don't need more damage. And we're doing the chain lightning thing at the moment. And then we are going to go chain lightning here. Okay. So, did we just ditch the Druid? What do you mean? Ditch the Druid? No. We talked about Druid arguably the longest. We had McFluffin and Boiler in here. Any tips for those of us that are not running our sigil dust? If you make a really powerful character, like let's say you make you can make a real powerful character and run whatever nightmare dungeon you feel comfortable with, like an 80 or a 70 or whatever, to just speed farm. And when you do those nightmare dungeons, they drop you lots of keys, right? You pick up all the keys. You should be able to generate more keys than you spend. Then after you run an hour of them, you should be able to salvage an entire inventory full of Nightmare Dungeon 80s. That'll give you a lot of dust. 4-year, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? I need to fix this. My thing is busted here, and the other thing needs to be this. C9, Insanely Handsome, Sunwest, Giuseppe, Ravi, Caden, Jiharu. Did I say that right? Sub for 18 months, 2 hours ago. I missed it. I'm sorry, dude. I got just absolutely cross-eyed tunnel visioning all the Abattoir builds. Apologize for that. Macro been done yet? What about macro? I plan to use the same vampire powers that North War listed on the ball lightning build. I was going to use the same ones. Manacle, I'm good. How are you? What's my plan for farming Abattoir of Zir? I don't know. So, yeah, the idea is you need to get your glyph to 50. I'm going to play Abattoir until it gets difficult. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Maybe I can skip some tiers. The moment it becomes a struggle, we're going to have to stop and farm glyph levels. We need to try to get this glyph to level 50. Then at level 50, we will have a colossal damage increase. And then see where we can go from there. And then we should be able to punch something into Excel, a little calculator, and be able to calculate the maximum possible tier. Because my Ball Lightning Sorcerer has close to perfect gear. It is very difficult. It is possible to have better gear. Obviously, you can always get upgrades, but not by much. You cannot get much stronger than me. What Druid build am I going to use? I'm going to use whichever poison version that they come out with that they think is best. It's either going to be Poison Shred or Stormclaw, which I think will also, unless I'm stupid, will also use Shred to detonate Blurred Beast, unless they have a different way of doing it. But the advantage that I have playing a Druid is I have an Andariels. And Andariels is going to shoot out Mucho El Poison. And for those of you that don't speak Spanish, that means a lot of poison. Your first Uber Unique was a Melted Heart. Ah, it's the Immortal Amulet. But yeah, have you guys... 2 questions for everybody for the Abattoir. 2 questions. 1, have you completed your season journey? If you haven't completed it, you can't do the Abattoir. Second question would be, how much glyph, how much sigil powder do you have? Yes, and 48k. All right, so you should be good. Okay, so Polly only has 15,000. Precor only has 10. So I think you guys need to be running Nightmare Dungeon, whatever, a pretty high Nightmare Dungeon, whatever you can farm comfortably. Delete them, delete them, delete them, and then get some sigil powder and then salvage. I don't know if I would be going into the Abattoir with only 10k sigil powder. That means you can only make 12 level 1 keys. And the idea would be that the cost probably gets more expensive, right? The base cost, I believe, is 800, right? It's 800 for a level 1. Does an Abattoir, do they give you another key at the end of the run? I think that could be hot fixed, by the way. I'm very, very ready. In fact, you want to know what? I was gonna say I'm gonna be ready to complain. I'm actually just gonna complain before I even start. What I'm gonna complain about something that I don't even know if it's going to be a problem. Quick message to the D4 team about the Abattoir coming out in 2 days. A lot of the community members are slightly worried about the cost of crafting Abattoir keys. I think it's about 800 sigil for a level 1. But how are we going to sustain it? Do we get keys at the end of the run for another try? Do they salvage for a fair amount of sigil dust to craft more? Or are people who don't have much going to have to leave the abattoir after a while to go farm nightmare dungeons to go back in? If that's the case, I think that would be a feels bad moment, because most of them have already been doing nightmare dungeons for a month straight and would probably like to spend a lot of time in greater rifts. Again, just bringing up the concern early, just so people can have fun with your new endgame if they want to. Alright, I complained about it before even knowing how it will work. That's what we call a stage 0 complaint. Don't call it greater rifts. It's exactly greater rifts. It's a 10-minute timer to kill all the monsters with no drops until the end, with a boss at the end. It is absolutely greater rifts. It's greater rifts. It's the exact same mechanic. Yeah, it doesn't have a boss. It has 3 mini bosses. But that's good news for us. We don't want it. We don't want one big boss. 3 mini bosses means we can do AoE damage. That's good for most builds, so we don't want them to change that. I'm gonna need you to delete your message right now. C9 gifted 5 subs and subbed. What a god, thank you, man. What was that for? I have 60,000 sigil dust, so I think I hopefully will be okay, but you never know. Wonder how much Sarah has. Maybe she needs to do greater rifts to be salvaging keys. Maybe I can get Blizzard to, I don't know, lower the cost of a sigil, or maybe I can get Blizzard to drop us a sigil key at the end of every run, or maybe I can get the sigil at the end of the run to salvage for a shitload of sigil powder. The thing is my philosophy is, if you guys want to do the abattoir, I think you guys should be allowed to, if you want to keep trying. How upset would you guys be if you guys were able to run, I don't know, 10, 15 abattoirs or whatever, and then you ran out of sigil dust and now you have to go farm nightmare dungeons for an hour or two just to be able to craft a key to go back in and do the endgame? mean, me personally, I don't need anything from Nightmare Dungeons. I don't need the shitty glyph leveling. It's way better in the Abattoir. Looks like the Abattoir drops better gear. I mean, Filthy Rich got a unique in his very first run. Looks like it drops better loot. I think Greater Rifts are way more fun than Nightmare Dungeons because it's just slay monsters instead of do objectives. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm not even saying this as a joke. I'm being completely honest here. If I have to go back and do Nightmare Dungeons to go do the Abattoir, I'm going to go play PoE. I'm going to go play the new PoE League. That will be the end of my... probably the end of my Abattoir runs. Like, the PoE League comes out 3 days after the Abattoir, right? So I will just go do that. You're happy with the decision to punish people for failure? I understand that as well. I agree with you, but there's already a punishment for failing. There is a punishment. You have no lives. You don't have any lives in the Abattoir. If you die, you lose the whole run. You don't get the clear. You don't get anything. You don't get the clear. You don't get the glyph XP. You don't get the items. It's all at the end. So there's a pretty big penalty to lose. You lose everything. You lost the entire thing. I don't think it needs to be like outrageous. I don't think it needs to be like a free craft or anything. But there are people that don't have that much time to play that maybe they only have 3,000 sigil dust. Let's say they craft the first key. There's 800 of it. They plug a 2, they plug a 3, and they die. And let's say a 3 costs 1,500 sigil dust. They plug it and they die. They're done. That's 2,300 spent. You have 700 left. You can't even plug a new first key. You got to go already back to back to Nightmare Dungeons. That's not good, right? That's not good. You're already getting punished. You failed the 2 level 3s that you plugged. You already lost the sigil dust. You got no items. You got no upgrades. It's kind of like the same thing in PoE. In PoE, when you open a Maven portal, right, you got 6 tries, and if you fail all 6, you lose, the mats that it cost you to summon Maven or whatever. You've got about 8,000 dust. Yeah, so again, I don't know how long that will last you, but once you fail a couple of them, you might be bankrupt. With 8k dust, you might be bankrupt. I don't know how group play works. If one person dies, the whole group loses the run. Is that how it works? That seems extreme. But maybe. That is how they do. If one person dies, it's a rip. Okay. Damn. Okay. So yeah, okay, so they're making it pretty tough. They're making it pretty tough. They're making it pretty punishing. I like that. I play hardcore. I mean, this game is not really hardcore. I wish they would make it harder, but I like it when there's a risk. I think it makes it more fun. But I don't think you should make it super hard to just play the mode. If we can't even play, then that's not fun. That's what Duriel is. Duriel is you can't ever play it. Because, well, you got to go farm all the mats. I understand. It drops uniques, 925 gear. It has to be hard. I get it. I understand. But that's what Duriel is. Duriel is you spend 99% of your time not doing Duriel and 1% of your time doing Duriel. Like, give us a game mode where we can at least play. At least make tier 1 cheap. Oh, you level up to 10 and you died and you lost the sigil. A level 10 costs 5,000 dust or something, and you can't craft a 10. But a level 1 costs, you have to start over. You have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but at least if you start at level 1, the level 1 costs 300. Okay, that's not that expensive. I could do level 1, level up. I died. God damn it. I got to go back to level 1. Okay, fine, but I'm getting 1,000 glyph XP. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 again. I think that would be a better system than level 1 costing, what, 800? That's pretty expensive, man. That's going to bankrupt people quickly if there's no sustain. That's pretty rough right there. I haven't been paying attention at all. Apparently I'm doing a Helltide. I have 500 cinders. I'm in the top. This is a top of the hour one, so there's only 2 things to open. I haven't been paying attention to anything. Does death evasion count as a death if you decide to stay? That's an interesting question. Probably not. You can probably proc and keep playing. I don't know, though. Does Scroll of Escape count as a death? That's a good question. Can you port to town or Scroll of Escape out? That's a good question. I don't know. My guess is it, even if it doesn't literally count as a death, it will pseudo count as a death. And the reason why is you only have a 10-minute timer. If you proc, then that means that you lose 5 minutes. You lose half of the timer. I don't think you're going to be able to finish it anyway. So even if they haven't built it in as a guaranteed loss, it's like a pseudo loss anyway, right? Unless you're doing a very low tier. So it's going to be a loss at any high tier anyway, even if they haven't coded it as a hard loss. It's going to be a soft loss. Have I seen Rage Gaming's sorcerer setup for Abattoir of Zir? No, I haven't. I don't. Well, I almost never watch Diablo videos. Like, practically never. I already, with how much I spend on this game, how much time I spend on this game, it's already a lethal amount. So I do not go on YouTube and watch the other videos. Which is why, pretty much, you never see a video of mine copying another creator. Because I don't even watch their videos. I work with Maxroll, and I work with the Maxroll team. And if I ever share one of their guides, I always give them credit for it, every time. And in the event that I would watch some other person's video and get an idea of something, then I would credit them. Every time. Has nothing to do with it just has to do with being a decent human being. If someone else is doing the work and you're broadcasting it and sharing it, you need to give them credit and direct your audience to go to them. But anyway, on to your more to your question though, what is Rage Gaming's setup? Did they do something special? What is the setup? Rage just copies builds. I'll be completely honest with you. I've heard people say the name Rage Gaming a lot. I don't know Rage. I don't even know this channel. I don't know anything about it. I don't know if I've ever seen a video from Rage Gaming. Let me pull up their YouTube here, see if I write youtube.com Rage Gaming. There's no webcam? 1.18 million subscribers, big channel. Trillion DPS. Trillion DPS? Huh. A trillion damage per second? If his ball lightning sorcerer does a trillion damage per second, he's got the best build. A trillion, huh? That's a lot. If he does a trillion damage, then his ball lightning sorcerer does like 1,000. He's like 1,000 of my sorcerers. Yeah, so actually, if his does a trillion damage, you should copy his build and do that 100%. Yeah, he's just built different. I am extremely confident in the build that I posted for you guys this morning. I'm extremely confident. There are little itty bitty things you can do differently here and there, but I'm very confident. I played Sorcerer the entire time. Spent some time early on in the season theory crafting with North War. North War is smarter than pretty much everyone. He's smarter than pretty much everyone. If you think you're going to out theory craft North War, you are a dummy head. You won't. You're not going to do it. He's very good. He has been for many years in many different games. You are not going to out theory craft him. It's just that simple. It's not going to happen. You can use a Shaco. A Shaco is equal to a Godslayer crown. The thing about the Godslayer is the Godslayer with the Convulsions passive gives you the pull that lets you drop raiment. You can drop the pull, though. You can drop the pull. That's not the biggest deal in the world, and Shaco will keep you alive. So you play Godslayer, and the moment you start dying and you can't live anymore, you swap it for a Shaco. Shaco is excellent to have. I wish I had one, but I don't. I will say something, though. I'm not sure that the Melted Heart builds are going to be needed. I'm not sure that we are going to need an immortal version of these builds. because I don't think the damage is going to scale too insanely. The thing that's going to scale is the monster HP, which is good news. So I don't think you're going to need the Melted Heart. Could be wrong, but I don't think so. You will get a lot of damage from the new glyph, that's true, but the whole point is to clear 25. The whole point is to try to clear the highest tier possible. Like, it's like a little fun challenge. The thing about... So I have a question about Rage Gaming. Does Rage play Diablo 4? Does he stream? Does he stream on Twitch? Does he stream on YouTube? How does he theorycraft these? Does he play the game? It's 3 guys and they all play. So they do play the game. They play it, they theorycraft it. You don't need, yeah, you don't even need that much spiritual. They scaled back, they tuned back the scaling of how high the high level of the monsters goes up in the Abattoir. You should be good with like 13.5k armor. Yeah, like I said, I don't recognize the channel, but they're clearly very successful. They have 1.2 million subs. I don't know who they are. How do you get that much armor on the sorcerer? You take an armor roll on your amulet and an armor roll on your chest piece. I'm not doing that right now, but that's what I will do. And you put disobedience on the amulet. Jordan, you have 100 ball lightning sorcerer. You die in any tier over 85. What is going on? I'm getting sick of the math to try to figure it out. Jordan, when you're standing in town, how much armor do you have? Standing right here. How much armor do you have? That's my first question. I am quite sure that this is the problem. How much armor do you have? No, don't worry about me, guys. I'm not going to have 5k. Don't worry about me. My question is, how much armor do you have in your Abattoir of Zir setup going in? That's my question. If you're dying. Nick Jojo, if I spent the whole season making a couple of subpar but fun builds, how far behind am I? How far behind am I about to fall behind everyone else? Now is the time, Jojo, to pick a one build and get it powerful. But, I mean, you can get up to the Abattoir of Zir, no problem. Okay. You have 8,000 armor. No, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. 8,000 standing here doing nothing. Second question. Do you have a perfect disobedience on your amulet? That's my second question. Do you have this power, disobedience, on your amulet? Not on any other piece, on your amulet. Asking Jordan, because he's dying. The reason why it needs to be on your amulet is it gives you 1.5, it gives you 50% more power on it. All right, what am I doing here? Let's go to the Tree of Whispers. No, you don't. That's why you're dying. Put disobedience on your amulet, you're done. Next, one more question, Jordan. How much life do you have, and what are your resistances? What are these? Here, let me show you guys. Everybody pay attention here. If you're wondering how you're going to live, everybody pay attention. I'm going to show you something. Okay? You can easily test if you're going to get shit on or not. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you right now. Yeah, this. Yeah, it gives you more on the aim. I'm going to show you how to test. You guys can all go to the training dummy in Kmart. Okay? Go to the training dummy. First of all, you should just go to Maxroll and copy where the powers are. It matters where you put them. Put them where Northward told you to put them. That's the first thing. Okay, so if we go here to the training dummy, I'm going to show you if you're going to get shit on or not. I don't have a staff. This is just an Oculus. Just for speed farming. Okay. So the first thing before you even walk in the dummy, these should be close to maxed. If they aren't close to maxed, then you got a problem. So I'm going to go here. And I'm going to take out this skull. And I'm going to put in this diamond. Okay. It's pretty good. Might be good enough, might not be good enough, who knows. Might have to put another diamond in there. Now, another thing. There is an elixir that only drops in Helltide. These iron skin elixirs, they're very helpful. And then there's these shitty ones that are worthless. If you have these iron skin elixirs, remember that you can use them if this doesn't work for you. Okay. Now, I could explain a bunch of math here, but I'm just going to cut right to the chase. You need about 13,500 armor, maybe 14k, and that should be about it. You don't need 15k because Blizzard changed the math to make it better for you. So what you do here is with disobedience, disobedience got to be somewhere, usually on your amulet. You press I, and then you look at your armor, and you need to attack the training dummy to get as many stacks as you can. The max you can get is 60, I believe. Okay, I have 60 stacks, and look at your armor. This number needs to be about 13,500. The highest would be like 14k. You do not need more than 14k. If you're way lower than 13,500, you are going to get shit on. I'm not there right now, see? So I put on, so now I would consider using an iron skin elixir to get there, because I'm not there. Yeah, 13.7, people don't know the exact number, like, there's a bunch of different formulas going out, I don't know which one's the right one. 13 point something. So this is not enough. It's not enough. So I know I'm going to get obliterated. Now, another thing to understand is in order to keep my armor at this level, I have to keep attacking. If you're like running away scared, you're going to get crushed. So watch when I just even step away. Watch how fast this drops when I step away for a moment. If I go over here, why was that still going? It's because of my chain lightning? That actually stayed up way longer than I thought it would. Maybe because my chain lightning is hitting it. So if I stop, it stays up pretty. And I mean, it gives you a couple of seconds. All right, it's more than I thought. It gives you a couple of seconds. But the idea is if you stop attacking for a super long period of time, if you're running away, I'm scared. Okay, I drank a potion. Okay, I'm going to go back, look at my armor. It's because it's burning. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so you need very close to capped resistances here. And this number needs to be, when you have your disobedience up, whacking on this. And by the way, maybe your build is an AoE build. Fine. So you put in the multiple dummies. Okay, here's multiple dummies. Let's just get them all juiced up here. Okay, and then you can see where your damage is at. And your survivability. And I'm using a stupid ass Oculus here, which is not what you would use. So if I had my real weapon, if I had my real setup here, it'd be better. And by the way, I don't have my right amulet on either. So let me get my real setup. This is bad. Let me get my real setup and show you. So if I go over here, get the real stuff. Need my amulet. Where is it? It's this one. And then I need my weapon. This one will work for now. This is what I would use if I was fighting right now. Let's go like that. Okay, now I've got the right stuff on. Okay, so now let's try it. Stashed in the training ground. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. Okay, so now if we try it again, let's see where my armor gets to. Supply vulnerable to all of them. Okay. Let's see. And I should be in really good shape. Should be in really good shape, right? 13.4. This should absolutely work. Okay. I actually also have a different pair of gloves, but that's not going to give me more armor. I'm ready for PoE next week. I told you guys that I would play it for real for a season. I think the new endgame system looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to try to get good here. And even with all this defense, you can still hit, you can still see there's still sometimes some 1.2 millions in there. So this damage is pretty good, but again, if Rage Gaming can do 1 trillion damage per second, then that's about at least 100 of my sorcerers, maybe 1,000 of my sorcerers. Can't do 1 trillion. Snail, how you doing, buddy? By the way, Snail, while you're here, I have a question for you. It's not really a very big deal. But I have a question for you on your Hoda setup. I've been looking at these builds literally the entire day. Do you think it would be better, or maybe you can explain to me why you didn't do this, in the Abattoir on your actual skill tree, this. Why did you take this swiftness, instead of grabbing the last thing of booming voice and the challenging shout that gives you rage every time somebody hits you, and the multiplicative damage on Warcry. Do you think the movement speed, is there some reason why you picked up the movement speed? So I was thinking maybe you drop these 3 and pick up this, this, and this. Otherwise, this looked good to me. That was my only feedback. Oh, you said that you could respec it. You said you would take heavy-handed. Booming voice and wallop. Do you think that these are better than picking up the multiplicative damage and the fury, or you don't think that those are good? Because I'm under the impression that we're going to be getting clobbered all the time. If the monsters are alive for like a full minute, wouldn't we get some good value out of wouldn't we get a lot of fury, or no? Or is that just dog shit? Yeah. I think with the enhanced Warcry, I think there's always going to be that many enemies, right? Because the whole idea is eventually we're going to get to the point where we just can't one-shot them anymore. So I thought this one was pretty good. And maybe this will be good if there's a million monsters beating on your ass. That was it. Everything else looked good to me. Yeah, you just speculate. Exactly. That's what I'm doing. I'm speculating. I don't know. That's why it was a question, not a comment. Play a lot of Barb, though. I love Barb. Let's see here. Would heavy-handed be better? Multiplicative damage on critical strike. Well, what's your critical strike? Okay. 50%. Maybe heavy-handed would be better. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. I'm 100% not taking the movement speed. We only got 10 minutes and we only have to walk through like half of a nightmare dungeon, right? Like Filthy Rich did not run very far at all. And it's gonna be like a festering woods. You gotta pull the whole damn map on top of you to clear it at the end, I'm sure. So I think I'm definitely gonna drop the movement speed unless you have Esus. You took Ghostwalker off the boots, yeah. That's what I would do too. I think movement speed is a huge debate in the Abattoir. I don't think how fast you run around is gonna make any difference in your clear. But if you could get some damage in there, I think it'd make a huge difference. I'm 100% getting rid of the movement speed points. I just don't know for what. If you're spending all your time running away from the monsters, then you're doing too high of a tier. You just can't do it. But maybe I'm wrong. All right, let's go back down here and let's finish this. Movement speed is attack speed with Ravenous. By the way, I just realized something. 40% of your total movement speed. I wonder. Let me finish this real quick. But I actually have a question. Of course, there's no alchemist here. Thanks God. You're going to stay with Oculus in the Abattoir? Probably not the worst decision ever. I don't think I'm going to do that, but that's not the craziest thought I've ever heard. All right. But I want to see something here though. I wonder if I'm missing some kind of attack speed breakpoint. And the reason why I wonder that is okay, I need to see something here. Let's go back to the training dummy. So I need my other amulet here. So here, my movement speed is what? 124. Good luck on your Durials, man. If I evade, am I capped? One off of the cap. Let me see here. Excuse me? Excuse me, Blizzard? Blizzard, are you serious? All right, now let's try it like this. If I take this off and I take this off. Okay. And then I put them both back on. This works. So when the evade is up, it definitely matters, but when it's not up, it doesn't seem to matter. Okay. Alright, I'm satisfied with that. Alright, that's fine. Alderwood, I'd love to do an Alderwood. Your sorcerer has 14,000 armor. You can lower that. Hexlad, you can... do you have skulls in your jewelry? You can swap them for diamonds or something. You don't need 14.7. That's too much. Can you take out some skulls or something? You're overcapping by about 1,000. And overcapping, unless there's like armor breaker or something, it's not going to do anything. You just ran into the butcher for the first time and got killed by him. Butcher's strong, man. If you're not ready, Butchie will butch you, no problem. Early game, Butcher is borderline unkillable. If you've got nothing on most classes, unless you can like bug him or something, or get him stuck behind a wall, Butcher is borderline unkillable. Yeah, it depends on your build. Locatus, it depends on your build. Yes, there is a danger if you're relying on max disobedience. Ball Lightning got no problem getting max disobedience all the time. It's attacking 20,000 times per second. I think that's a fairly reliable thing. But, yeah. By the way, isn't there an all resist elixir? You could also use an all resist elixir and put all skulls in your jewelry. Can tonight I have to make 5 YouTube videos. What a night I'm gonna have. Imagine making 5 YouTube videos in one night. Plus 20 to all resistances. Does it increase your max resist at all? Or no? Or just the increase? Just the regular increase? Five YouTube videos, so about 40 seconds of content. I mean, that's the going rate on YouTube these days, yeah. If someone says they're going to make 5 YouTube videos, they're each going to be an hour long, and they're each going to contain about 30 seconds of real content and information. No, each of these will be... Yeah, you like the patch note video? Have you guys ever seen a video with a higher percentage of content in the actual video than that one? Hi guys, let's look at the patch notes. They buff Glyph XP. Thank you. 88 Thug Thunder. Thank you so much for the subs, guys, if I didn't say so already. God, man, I'm hungry and I gotta make 5 YouTube videos. It's already 5 o'clock. I feel like I should definitely stream longer, but I'm also thinking if I don't end stream and start making the videos now, I'm never going to get all 5 of them done. Do what Rob does and make the video on stream. No offense to any of the content creators who do that. No, first of all, I didn't even know Rob makes his videos on stream, but the only YouTube videos I ever make on stream are ones where it's like a recap. Hey, let me recap what's happened here. Because the recap is good for Twitch, and then you just throw it on YouTube and you're done. Other than that, I severely do not like recording a video while you're live. I just think the value of the video goes down tremendously. I can make you a way better video, 1,000 times better video, if I end stream, think about it, and methodically create it. Like, there's not a lot of production value in my YouTube on purpose. We keep it very simple. We use Paint. We don't use fancy anything. I just get straight to the point. I make a video and then I end the video. But there is a lot of effort that goes in. I sit here for hours looking at the Abattoir setups. I punch it into the calculator for 2 hours trying to calculate how Blizzard comes up with necro vulnerable damage. I sit here and luckily enough, Dioxide comes in, Snail comes in, Boiler comes in, Moxie comes in, McFluffin comes in, and I can talk to them. Why did you do this? Have you thought about this? What about this? Because I have I'm not guessing. I played all these builds. I have them all fully built. I'm not just blindly copying what they're doing. Try to understand what they're doing. And then only after you've done all of that, then you organize your thoughts and then you make a video. So the video is actually good for you guys. It's quick, it's direct, it tells you what you need to know, and then you just end the video. Like, I am not good enough to make this magically happen. I can only do this after hours of work. You know what I mean? What I could do is I could make a thumbnail and say, this is the 1 quintillion damage ball lightning sorcerer build. Never play ball lightning. Copy the build from some other thing, call it my own, and just literally read the text on the screen and assume that you understand what that means, then end the video. Could do that. That'd be way easier. That would save me hours every single day. It would save me hours of time to do that. Might even get more clicks too. How do I think Bone Spear will do in the Abattoir of Zir? I think out of all the top tier builds, it'll probably be the worst. It doesn't have any like bugged mechanics. Rogues get 22 combo points. Sorcerers do 10 times the damage they're supposed to. Hoda hits for 1 billion damage because Overpower is busted, and Poison Shred's gonna hit for like... Poison Shred might hit for 100 billion damage when it's all said and done. So, and Bone Spear will be throwing Bone Spears. Might be 23. Yeah, 3 base and 20 from Tibalt's. Necros just don't have any bugs. I'll tell you what, if they took out all the bugs, if they took out the ball lightning nonsense, if they took out the 23 combo points, if they fixed the overpower thing, Necros might be one of the best. They're just the least broken, so... Okay, well, I hate to do this. I don't like to end after only a 4-hour stream, but I think I should, because I have to make 5 YouTube videos in one day, and I have to actually do more research and make sure that I deliver them in an intelligent way. So let me go start working on that, guys. It's gonna take me the entire day and the entire night. So I better go. 5 hours of videos with 3 minutes of content. Exactly. Let's find somebody to raid here who can re-raid. I owe Woody a raid, right? I hope Woody's streaming. Of course he isn't. GG's. Oh, let's raid. Why don't we raid DM? I haven't raid DM in a while. Let's raid DM. Moxie joined Maxroll today. I know. I've been talking to him. That's exciting. I just raided Moxie, though. Ghost Runner, nice to see you, buddy. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. Let me go make 5 YouTube videos for you. And 4 will be on my channel. 1 of them will be on Maxroll's channel. Let me get that done. And tomorrow we'll do our final preparations and we'll be ready for... yeah, go congratulate Moxie for joining. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? GG's.